The human body is just an incredible machine, right? It's this super complex, self-regulating system that's working around the clock 24/7 just to keep you alive. But have you ever stopped to wonder how it does all that? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. You can go run a marathon, eat a massive holiday dinner, or step outside into the freezing cold, and somehow your body, it just knows what to do. It adjusts. It keeps everything inside of you running just right. So, how does it do it? Let's dive in.
All right, so to really get how this whole machine works, you got to start with the basics, right? We're going to build the human body from the ground up, starting with the tiniest little parts and working our way up to the massive, interconnected networks that keep you going.
Okay, so everything, and I mean everything, starts right here with the cell. Every single part of you, your skin, your brain, your bones, it's all made of trillions and trillions of these tiny living units. They are the absolute foundation. Think of them like individual bricks in a giant building. But here's the thing, cells are not solo artists. Nope, they team up. When groups of similar cells get together to do a specific job, they form what we call a tissue. So you've got muscle tissue for movement, nervous tissue for sending signals. It's all about teamwork at this microscopic level. Now we're climbing the ladder of complexity. When different types of tissues band together, they create an organ. Take the heart, for example. It's got muscle tissue that pumps, but it also has nervous tissue to control the rhythm. Every organ is like a specialized tool with a super important job. And that brings us to the top level, systems. This is where organs form their own teams. So your stomach, your intestines, your liver, they all work together as the digestive system to handle your food. Your brain and nerves, that's the nervous system, coordinating the whole shebang. This is where the big picture really starts to come into focus.
And this is where it all comes together. This is so crucial. None of these systems are off in their own little worlds. They're all deeply, deeply connected. Your digestive system breaks down food, sure, but it's your cardiovascular system that has to deliver all those nutrients everywhere. The nervous system is like the master conductor of this whole orchestra, making sure everything happens exactly when it needs to. It's a constant, coordinated dance.
Okay, so we've seen how all the pieces connect. Now let's talk about the single biggest challenge your body faces every single day. Keeping everything inside perfectly balanced no matter what's going on in the outside world.
Think about it. The world outside, it's chaos. The temperature can swing like crazy, you can be super stressed one minute and relax the next. The external world is always changing. But inside you, your body temperature, your blood sugar, your pH levels, all of that stuff has to stay incredibly stable. I mean, your life literally depends on it.
And there's a name for this incredible life-saving balancing act. It's called homeostasis. It comes from Greek words that basically mean same and steady. This is the core process that lets your body keep its internal world in this perfect, narrow little range, making sure you can survive and thrive. It's the secret to staying alive.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does the body actually pull this off? It's not magic, not at all. It's a really brilliant engineering solution that works a lot like a piece of tech you probably have in your own house.
The secret sauce is something called a negative feedback loop. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like the thermostat in your house. You set it to, say, 70 degrees. If the house gets too hot, what happens? The AC kicks on to cool it back down. If it gets too cold, the heat turns on to warm it up. The goal is always to bring the temperature back to that set point. Well, your body is doing that exact same thing, just for dozens of different variables.
So this whole process, it basically breaks down into 4 simple steps. Let's walk through them. First, you've got a stimulus. That's just something that knocks the system out of balance. Then, a sensor detects that change. Third, a control center figures out what to do and triggers an action. And finally, number 4, there's a response that brings everything back to where it should be. Stimulus, sensor, action, response. Easy enough, right? Let's see it in action.
Okay, let's make this real. This is a perfect example, regulating your blood sugar. Let's say you eat a candy bar. The stimulus is that your blood sugar shoots up. The sensor is your pancreas. It detects this spike. The pancreas is also the control center here, so it takes action by releasing insulin. And what's the response? Well, your liver and other cells take in that extra sugar from your blood, bringing your glucose levels right back down to that set point. And just like that, the system is back in balance. And of course, it works the other way too, if your blood sugar gets too low.
Okay, so negative feedback is all about pumping the brakes, right? Correcting things, getting them back to normal. But what if the body needs to hit the gas instead? What if, for a very specific reason, it needs to push something further away from that starting point? And that's where we meet the other kind of feedback, positive feedback. They're like polar opposites. While negative feedback is self-correcting, positive feedback is all about amplifying. It doesn't bring things back to normal. It pushes the body toward a brand new state to get a job done. And because it's such a powerful process, it's actually pretty rare. The body only uses it for very specific, short-term missions.
And here are a couple of really powerful examples of this in action. During childbirth, a contraction begins. Now, instead of stopping it, the body releases a hormone called oxytocin, which causes even stronger contractions. That pressure causes more oxytocin to be released, and the cycle amplifies and amplifies until the baby is born. The same thing happens with a blood clot. You get a cut, platelets rush to the scene and release chemicals that call for more platelets. It's an amplifying signal that keeps going until the wound is sealed. See? It's a process that pushes forward to a final goal.
So this whole system of homeostasis, it's this incredibly delicate dance, right? It's what keeps us healthy. But because it's so delicate, it raises a really important question. What happens when that balance is lost?
What happens when this whole intricate system just breaks? Well, the consequences can be really, really serious. When the body can't maintain that steady internal state, when these feedback loops start to fail, that's often when disease sets in.
In fact, a lot of the diseases that we're all familiar with are, at their very core, a failure of homeostasis. Diabetes is when the body can't regulate blood sugar. Hypertension is a failure to regulate blood pressure. In every one of these cases, the body is stuck way outside its healthy range, and that can cause all sorts of damage across the entire system.
There's a quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. It says, "Homeostasis is a very delicate balancing system, and if it becomes disturbed, results can sometimes be disabling or fatal." That really says it all. This isn't just some neat biological idea, it's the absolute foundation of our health. And that really brings us full circle. Every second of every day, your body is performing this unbelievable balancing act, and you don't even have to think about it. It is an absolute master of self-regulation. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what's your role in helping it succeed? What can you do in your own life to support this incredible system, to give your body the best possible chance to maintain that perfect, life-sustaining balance? Thanks for tuning in.